This story is, it's important that people appreciate just how nuts this story is. 72 hours. Well, I should say, Donald Trump put out that tweet, right, where he said, President Xi of China and I are working together to give massive Chinese phone company ZTE a way to get back into business fast. Too many jobs in China lost. Commerce Department has been instructed to get it done. So I just want you to just like sit with this for a moment. He tweets out that China and the United States are working well together on trade, but past negotiations have been so one-sided favor of China. So for many years, that's hard for them to make a deal that benefits both countries. But be cool. It will all work out. Be cool, people. And then he says he's going to help get these lost jobs back to China. And then obviously, Happy Mother's Day. Now, I think really, just to imagine for a moment, and I know this is a silly game, but if Barack Obama tweeted out, really worried about jobs lost in China, we're going to get our Commerce Department to get on it and fix it for them. People would be completely just apoplectic.
Cool.
And frankly, I don't think it's necessarily inappropriate for at a time of stagnant wages, with widespread too many Americans living in poverty, with the inability for too many Americans to afford health care, with problems with retirement. On and on. The idea that the Commerce Department is going to spend any considerable amount of time trying to save Chinese jobs, I think is I find that a little problematic.
Keep it cool.
Here's where it gets just to, are you effing kidding me? Apparently, Donald Trump tweeted this out 72 hours after the Chinese government agreed to put $500 million into an Indonesian project that is basically going to have the Trump name on it. It is a theme park resort outside of Jakarta. This
guy is so baller.
Last Thursday, the Chinese government agreed to provide $500 million in loans, and then another $500 million came from Chinese banks. So it's basically $1 billion coming from China. Not, and I will cop to the fact that I don't know the relationship between Chinese banks and the Chinese government. But my guess is the Chinese government has to okay the Chinese banks sending $500 million. The Trump family business, the Trump Organization, has a deal to license the Trump name to the resort, which include, of course, a golf course and hotels. So you have a situation where Donald Trump has said the Commerce Department of the United States is going to work on returning Chinese jobs to a phone company, incidentally, which has been fined $1.2 billion. It's owned 33% by the Chinese government. It was fined $1.2 billion last year after it was found to be violating U.S. sanctions against Iran and North Korea. The ZTE officials lied about their actions. They also, the U.S. government banned itself from purchasing U.S. components for 7 years. This is ZTE. This is what Trump is responding to. They were also apparently, there was concerns amongst our national security apparatus that they were using their components to spy on us in American-made telephone equipment. So here you have Donald Trump offering to lend the services of the U.S. government to help out this company just days after $1 billion was sunk into a project that the Trump organization stands to, I don't know how many millions, or maybe over years, hundreds of millions of dollars they stand to make. So the press had the audacity to ask a White House spokesperson about this, which of course seems just like, where does the press get off? But
That's the sort of elitism of the Northeast liberal press.
yeah, here's Raj Shah, and this is, frankly, this is why Trump won in the first place. Questions like this. Raj Shah is the White House spokesperson.
The Trump organization is involved in a project in Indonesia, building hotels, golf course residences. It's getting up to $500 million in backing from the Chinese government. Can you explain the administration's perspective on A, how this wouldn't violate the emoluments clause, and B, how it wouldn't violate the president's own promise that his private organization would not be getting involved in new foreign deals while he was president?
I'll have to refer you to the Trump organization.
No, but I mean, the Trump organization can't speak on behalf of the president as the president, the head of the federal government, the one who's responsible, who needs to assure the American people that they don't have that responsibility.
But you're asking about a private organization's dealings that may have to do with a foreign government. That's not something that I can speak to.
High on a hill was a lonely goat herd, lay, hoodle, hoodle, loud was the voice of the lonely goat herd, lay, hoodle, hoodle.
I love India.
There you go, folks.
But he's not a lonely goat. Everybody in my administration answers questions like that.
I mean, at one point, like when he doesn't answer that question, every single media outlet in there, if they don't get up and leave, they should at the very least say, same question.
Are you kidding me?
Same question.
Their follow-up would be like, all right, won't go for that one, or Sarah Huckabee's feelings still hurt.
Well, every once in a
By
while,
the Michelle Wolf impression.
every once in a while they get in moods to try that sort of thing.
And
they
how
need
does
to
it go?
find-
Man, are you kidding me?
They
This
are.
is just so blatant, so flagrant. It's, I guess the bottom line is they figure like, oh, well, if he can go and do a rally where the entire auditorium cheers "Drain the Swamp" in a week where his personal lawyer in the best case scenario enriched himself to the tune of several $1 million to sell access to the president. If that's that's the best case scenario, right? They figure, well, if we can get away with that, like, let's just keep going forward and seeing what we can't get away with, because it could be nothing.
I think that it's absolutely nothing, and I think that whatever percentage was of people who kind of fell for the con, that very small percentage, I bet a lot of them are gone, and the rest of the group, I think it's that pendulum we've actually talked about before, where it's either because he did "I'm going to drain the swamp," and then he also did "the way I'm going to drain the swamp is like I'm the master of corruption, and I understand this so well, and I got it." And I think there's still a contingent of people that it's like, of course, he means by drain their swamp, get rid of the competition. Maybe him and his lawyer want to make the money.
Or maybe
we're
what
part
he's
of the
doing-
winning team.
Maybe what he's doing is he's filling the swamp. And then we'll fill the swamp so much that it will begin to absorb the swampiness. And it'll become
Eisenhower said,
landfill.
as Eisenhower said, if you got a problem you can't fix, make it bigger.
Make it bigger. I have them right where I want them.
He's really testing the system here because it's slanted towards respecting the office of the president, and it's slanted towards the status quo in every single way. And it's very hard to impeach a sitting president. So we'll see.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
Clear eyes,
The
folks.
chances of me being impeached are the same as Richard from Ohio having a successful phone call in the Minority Report.